AI is changing everything: how we work, how we live, and how businesses grow. But here's the thing, it's not just a revolution in technology, it's a shift in wealth. Right now, we're sitting at the edge of one of the biggest financial opportunities of our lifetime. The question is, where to invest? In this video, I'll show you and John why AI is the next big wealth creator and how AI ETFs make it simple to invest smartly. I'll show you the top 5 ETFs for 2025, each with explosive growth potential. And in the end, I'll show you an ETF that could help you and John buy a Tesla Model 3 in less than 2 years. Let's say you or John or someone like both of you have $30,000 sitting in your savings account and you've been dreaming about a Tesla that costs around the same amount. Sure, you could take that money and buy the car outright. You'd be behind the wheel of your dream ride. But there's a catch. Your savings would be wiped out, leaving your account a big fat zero. John has a smarter plan: grow his money and use the earnings to buy the Tesla. But with a typical savings account yielding just 4% or less, that $30,000 would only earn $1,200 a year. At that rate, it could take at least 15 to 20 years to save enough money to buy your Tesla 3. Let's face it, savings accounts are safe, but they won't make you rich. But AI ETFs? That's a whole different story. These funds, focused on cutting-edge technologies like artificial intelligence, offer the potential for much higher returns. Instead of watching your savings crawl, you could be doubling your money in a fraction of the time. Think about this. In the 1990s, the internet boom transformed everyday people into billionaires practically overnight. Companies like Amazon, Google, and eBay turned into global giants, and anyone smart enough to get in early saw their investments skyrocket. AI is shaping up to be the next big thing. The same way the internet redefined how we live and work, AI is changing industries like healthcare, finance, manufacturing, and even entertainment. But which company will be the winner? No one knows the exact answer to that right now, but there is a way around it: betting on the industry instead of one single company. And that's where AI ETFs come in. AI ETFs pool your money with other investors' money and put it into companies driving the AI revolution, like robotics, machine learning, cloud computing, and more. Over the past decade, some AI-focused stocks have delivered returns that make traditional investments look like pocket change. And the best part? You don't have to be a stock market wizard to get in on this. ETFs are designed to make it easy for regular people like you and me, and John, to invest without the headache of picking individual stocks. Here's where it gets fun. Let's say you take that $30,000 and invest it in an AI ETF with an average annual return of 15%, which, by the way, isn't far-fetched given the AI sector's explosive growth. In just 5 years, your investment could grow to nearly $60,400. That is double your money. So how do you make this happen? You start by choosing the right AI ETFs. Not all ETFs are created equal, and that's where I've got your back here. I'm breaking down the top 5 AI ETFs for 2025. ETFs that have the potential to not only grow your $30,000, but maybe even turn it into something life-changing. These funds have been carefully picked based on their performance, the companies they invest in, and their potential for long-term growth. Coming up next are 5 AI ETFs ranked from number 5 all the way to number 1 based on how quickly they can double your investment. At number 5, we have Amplify AI-Powered Equity ETF with the ticker AIEQ. This ETF is something special. It's literally powered by artificial intelligence. And I don't mean it's just investing in AI, it's actually using AI to make smarter investment decisions. Behind the scenes, IBM Watson is crunching mountains of data, 10 years of historical trends, millions of news articles, economic reports, and more, all to pinpoint the best opportunities. What makes AIEQ stand out is how effortless it makes investing. It takes the human element out of the equation. No emotions, no second guessing, just pure data-driven decisions. Traditional investing often involves people making calls, sometimes getting it right, sometimes getting it wrong, but here the AI does all the heavy lifting. And the ETF's portfolio is just as impressive. AIEQ's top holdings include some of the biggest innovators in the world: NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and even Tesla itself. It's not just betting on one company, it is diversified across tech giants and AI leaders. That means your investment is spread across some of the most groundbreaking names in the game, reducing risk while maximizing potential. Now let's talk about results, because this is where AIEQ shines. Over the years, it's pulled off an impressive annual return of 20.05%. Based on this, if you invest $30,000 in AIEQ, you'd be earning $6,015 every year. This means to buy the new Tesla, you would need around 5 years to reach the $30,000 return goal. At number 4, we have the iShares Future AI and Tech ETF with the ticker ARTY. ARTY focuses on all the exciting areas of innovation: AI, robotics, generative AI, and more. It's a front row seat to the tech revolution. What makes ARTY stand out is its strategy. It doesn't just invest money at every tech company under the sun, it is super targeted. ARTY invests in companies that are critical to the AI ecosystem. Sure, it includes big names like NVIDIA and Broadcom, but it also invests into under-the-radar players like Arista Networks, which manufactures Ethernet switches for data centers, and Vertiv Holdings, which specializes in cooling systems for those same centers. These aren't household names, but they're essential to the infrastructure powering AI. ARTY isn't a newcomer either. It's been around since 2018, so it's had time to settle in and find its marketplace. While it's still relatively small, managing under $1 billion in assets, that gives it the feel of a hidden gem, something you can get into before everyone else catches on. And with a low expense ratio of 0.47%, it's a cost-effective way to invest in groundbreaking technology while keeping more of your returns. As for the numbers, ARTY delivers an impressive 22.11% annual return, which is higher than AIEQ, which means faster growth for investors. So if John invests his $30,000 in ARTY instead of spending it all at once, he'll generate $6,633 annually, allowing him to walk into the dealership in just 4.5 years, keeping his savings intact and letting his investments do the heavy lifting. This is good and way faster than the traditional savings account, but in the end, I will show you an ETF that could help you and John buy a Tesla Model 3 in less than 2 years. At number 3, we have Global X Artificial Intelligence and Technology ETF with the ticker AIQ. This ETF is all about giving you exposure to the world of AI in a way that feels exciting and forward-thinking. What sets AIQ apart is how it dives deep into the entire AI value chain. It doesn't just invest in companies creating AI technology, it also backs those using AI in groundbreaking and transformative ways. Think of it as a more focused, sharper version of the NASDAQ 100. There's no Costco or PepsiCo here, just pure AI and tech innovation driving massive growth. AIQ's portfolio is heavily weighted toward technology, with 67% invested in tech stocks and the remaining spread across consumer discretionary giants like Amazon and communication services players like Netflix. It's laser-focused on companies pushing boundaries and creating the next wave of innovation. Another standout feature of AIQ is its size and stability. With over $2.6 billion in assets under management, it's well capitalized and has the strength of a seasoned ETF. It's been designed to target growth in the AI sector while providing investors with a balanced yet impactful portfolio. And while the expense ratio is 0.68%, a bit higher than some others, it's a small price to pay when you're tapping into the explosive potential of this sector. Now let's talk numbers, because this is where AIQ also shines. The ETF delivers an impressive 28.9% annual return. For John, this means a $30,000 investment could bring in $8,670 per year. Over time, this kind of performance adds up fast. In just 3.5 years, John could have enough to pay for his Tesla. AIQ is about being part of an ecosystem that is transforming industries and delivering serious returns along the way. It is growth, innovation, and opportunity all rolled into one smart investment. At number 2, we have Roundhill Generative AI and Technology ETF with the ticker CHAT, C-H-A-T. While AIQ gives you broad exposure to the AI world, CHAT is all about generative AI. Tools like AI art generators and other technologies that are fundamentally changing how we work, create, and interact with the world. It's an actively managed ETF, which means there's no passive tracking of some index here. Real people are calling the shots, analyzing companies, and making decisions to maximize returns. So what is CHAT doing differently? For starters, it uses a proprietary stock selection process. They're not just looking at big names, they're analyzing companies based on how much of their revenue comes from AI, how much they're investing in research and development, and their overall market potential. It's a super targeted approach that really hones in on the leaders of the generative AI space. What sets CHAT apart is its flexibility. Because it's actively managed, the team behind it can pivot quickly based on market trends, new technologies, or emerging opportunities. That gives it an edge over passive ETFs that are locked into a specific index. Of course, this level of hands-on management comes with a slightly higher expense ratio, 0.75%. But again, when you're looking at returns north of 36%, it's well worth it. Let's cut to the chase. CHAT's annual return is 36.59%. So if John puts his $30,000 into this ETF, he'd be earning $10,977 every year. And at that rate, it would take just 2.7 years for John to afford his Tesla. Finally, at number 1, we have ARK, Autonomous Technology and Robotics ETF, with the ticker ARKQ. This ETF is a powerhouse in the world of AI and robotics investing, driven by disruptive innovation. It focuses on groundbreaking industries like autonomous technology, robotics, energy storage, 3D printing, and even space exploration. If you're looking for a fund that dives headfirst into the future, this one checks all the boxes. What makes this ETF unique, like our previous ETF, is active management. Unlike passive funds that simply track an index, there is a dedicated team behind the scenes making strategic decisions, chasing opportunities, and adjusting as the market evolves. At least 80% of the fund is invested in domestic and foreign equities, which means your money is working in cutting-edge robotics firms in Asia, tech innovators in Silicon Valley, and everywhere in between. What's great about this ETF is how it's structured. Let's break it down by sectors. Industrials, 38.3%. This is where robotics and autonomous vehicles come in. Think of all the innovations happening in manufacturing, logistics, and transportation. Information technology, 30.7%. No surprise here, AI, machine learning, and cutting-edge tech are driving this category. Consumer discretionary at 20.9%. This includes companies making products we're all obsessed with, like Tesla and other high-tech consumer goods. The rest is spread across communication services, energy, utilities, and healthcare, which adds a little balance to the mix. ARKQ has been around since 2014. It has $947.7 million in net assets and boasts a track record that blends stability with high growth potential. With an expense ratio of 0.75%, it's a cost-effective way to access some of the most exciting industries without breaking the bank. It's also designed for long-term growth, with low correlation to traditional market trends, making it a great diversification tool for investors who want to think outside the box. Now, let's talk numbers because they tell the real story. This ETF delivers an annual return of 54.77%, a monster performance. So if John invests $30,000 in this fund, he'd be earning $16,431 every year. At that rate, it would take just 1.8 years to afford a Tesla and maintain his savings. Less than 2 years to turn an investment into a luxury car? That's the kind of growth a savings account could never dream of. This chart tells the story of how your financial future can transform depending on the choices you make. On one end, we see the familiar savings account, safe but painfully slow, taking, let's say, 20 years to reach $30,000. Then comes the exciting lineup of AI ETFs, each representing a faster, smarter path. At 5 years, AI EQ starts the journey with its data-driven approach, followed by ARTY at 4.5 years. AIQ slashes the wait to just 3.5 years, diving deep into the AI ecosystem, while Chat accelerates further, reaching the goal in just 2.7 years, powered by generative AI. Finally, at the forefront and the fastest is ARKQ, cutting edge and bold, taking only 1.8 years to achieve what the savings account does in 2 decades. Want to know how to turn a $100,000 investment into a $150,000 portfolio in 1 year using crypto ETFs? Click the video on the screen to find out.